Rev up your engines! Yes, believe it or not, the English make a pickup truck, and here it is. A Land Rover Defender with a diesel engine. Now, it's a rare bird. This particular one came from New Zealand. They're completely different from American pickup trucks, to say the least. Now, if you know what I think of Land Rovers in general, not a big fan, but it's a diesel pickup truck. It's not one of these modern Land Rovers that are made for rich people to ride around in and they break down all the time. These are actually quite reliable, just like the real early Rovers. Realized they were basically copying the Willie Jeep that they saw in World War II in 1948. And those had little bitty engines in them, but they could run forever. You see the farmers in England, they're still driving those things around. They were pretty solid built vehicles. Now, as I say, they are pickup trucks, but they have very little in common with what the average American wants in a pickup truck. For example, when we look under the hood, a 4-cylinder diesel engine. Now, the bells certainly toll for this engine because it only puts out 110 horsepower, even though it's turbocharged. It is reliable as can be. They made over 1.3 million of these engines to put in all kinds of Land Rover and even Ford products. They're extremely reliable engines, although be a tad bit on the slow side. For example, at 0 to 60 time is a little over 20 seconds. You compare, people are talking about 3-4 seconds, 0 to 60. Well, these things aren't race vehicles. They are actual work trucks. Although this has been modernized, you can see it's got a Sandan Japanese air conditioning compressor on it. Although it's locked up, you can see it doesn't work anymore. I want to talk about serious off-roaders. These are serious off-roaders, hence the snorkel. It's not just for show. It sucks the air. You follow it down, it goes all the way to the intake on the engine. So we go in to check out the driver's, oh, I forgot. This is a real English vehicle. The driver's side is over here. Now, as you can see, this is a serious vehicle. It doesn't have too many frills, you know? As we start it up, I let the glow plugs warm up. All right. Make sure it's in neutral. You can see it's got all kinds of shifters here for power lift-offs, for the 4-wheel drive, 5-speed standard transmission. Yes, it shakes like a diesel. It's a real diesel 4-cylinder engine. It sounds like a diesel, and yes, it smells like a diesel. It can run and run and run because it has a mechanical fuel injection system. These things cost a lot of money to make, but they can run forever. Sure, as they age, they'll burn a little bit of oil, a little bitty 4-cylinder engine, but they can run and run. I had a customer with one. He had over 1 million miles on the thing. Granted, he was on a second engine, but still. As you can see, the one thing it has in common with American pickups is got quite a bit of room in it. You're not squeezed in the back seat. There's a lot of space in this English pickup truck. And it's solid built. I mean, look at this thing. It's a 96. Solid. Now, they didn't care about fancy bodywork. Look, rivets. These are open rivets painted over. Hey, they last. They hold up. Kind of in the style of a lot of modern American pickups. It's a short bed. It's not a long bed. Show up one of these things. Odds are in the United States, you're going to be the only one driving one of these. These are not modern Land Rovers that are made like SUVs and do have breakdown problems and cost a fortune. It looks like a safari truck. They use them in safaris, of course. They are solid, well built. They're not the modern one that, of course, Tata, the Indian company, bought Jaguar and Land Rover. And then the British part of Land Rover has a deal with the Chinese for making them in China. The British are a subsidiary of the Indian company Tata, but the British also have a deal with the Chinese manufacturer to make them in China. Kind of like an octopus. They got tentacles everywhere. This old Defender pickup, hey, it's all British. You can see Rover Group Limited, made in April 1996. Now its present owner, he got it in New Zealand. He was going to sell it when he was leaving New Zealand, but he loved it so much he shipped it back to the United States. I mean, you gotta say, this is one unique pickup truck. You can see, it's solid built. This thing is made for serious off-roading. It's got a winch, a real front differential, not some baby little CV axles, the old military style. Up the engine is, guess what? things aren't going to hit it when you're going off-road. It is one solid vehicle. Although it's small, this TDI engine can run quite some time. No race vehicle. Top speed of this baby is about 80 miles an hour. It is a work truck. It is not a race truck. You're not going to see too many of these in the United States. And sure, this old baby makes a lot of noise. Sounds like a bus. But this old English pickup can run and run. And it's not going to bankrupt you like the modern day Land Rovers. They're basically luxury SUVs for rich people to ride around in. It's an English vehicle, so it's right-hand drive. Takes a little bit of getting used to the backup. And there's no backup camera, but really, the back of this thing is so large you can see everything. You're not going to miss anybody behind you. We certainly aren't going to care about this bump here. Not this big old truck. This thing in low gear for quite some time. There we go. Yeah, those old diesels are kind of noisy, but hey, this is a serious work truck. King of the road in this thing. Not too much on acceleration. It is moving, but I certainly feel ready to go on a safari driving this thing around. Its off-roading capabilities are immense. Slow as it may be, it's going to get you where you're going. A pickup truck for the English cowboy. Got a little bit more style than an American pickup. Certainly understated performance, but the British always call the Americans cowboys for wanting to go too fast and too flashy. Well, hey, it's not too fast, but it's going to get you where you're going, especially with the snorkel. And let's face it, you're not going to find too many 96 Ford, Chevys, Rams solid like this, not rotted through, and still going strong. Even though it's got 303,218 on the speedometer. Of course, realize one thing, it's not miles, that's kilometers per hour. So those are kilometers. And really, I gotta say, I love the rivets. Industrial, a real truck, an industrial truck. Not a toy, not a bunch of plastic crap. Metal throughout. And strange enough for an English vehicle, check it out. Fuel pumps right here. You can access it very simply. These things are made for a repair on the fly. I had a customer with one in North Africa, broke down in the desert. He had his tools in the back. You get it out. You put an axle in the desert one time. They'll get you where you're going. And if they finally do break, they're relatively easy to fix, unlike the modern ones that are all computerized. Remember, this is a mechanical diesel fuel injection system, not all that electronic crap. And a standard transmission, not all that electronic computer-controlled automatic transmissions. These old things can run forever. And here's some bonus questions and answers. Romeo Swanson, Scotty, why did they choose to make the new GR Supras in Europe instead of Japan? Because the Toyota Supra is not a Toyota. It's just a rebadged BMW Roadster. So of course they're going to make the GR ones there because that's where they make the BMWs. These people get fooled by things. It amazes me. Now, I haven't personally seen this, but customers and fans of mine in Europe, they tell me now Toyota in Europe is selling little vans. It says Toyota on it. But they're just rebadged Fiat vans. Junky Fiat vans. But they're selling them as Toyotas. Toyota's getting their foot in a lot of stuff by stuff that I don't think is fair. You know, you want to buy a BMW, buy a BMW. Don't call it a Toyota Supra. It's all German parts. There's not a Toyota thing on it. It's a German car. It's not a Toyota. It's not a Japanese car by any stretch of the imagination. Arthur Martin says, if you were looking for a new semi-luxury car, what would you choose? I choose to have myself committed because I'll never buy a new luxury car or new any kind of car. It's a waste of money. There's so many good used ones. Now, the market now has gone insane, but I mean, I've got 3 good cars. There's only me and the wife, so what do I care? May never buy another car. Who knows? One's a Lexus and 2 of them are Toyotas, and they run forever, so I'm not buying any. But if I was going to get a luxury car, I would still probably go with a Lexus because they're well made. I'd get a 6-cylinder one. I like the 6-cylinder ones. They hold up, but they cost too much money. I'll never buy one. It's just too much money. The average new car in the United States is like $46,900 now. The average car, not a luxury car, the average car. They're just too expensive. Hopefully the recession, when it comes, will start lowering the prices because guess what? They can build cars and charge a whole bunch of money for them. But if people don't buy them, the prices have to come down or they're stuck with a whole bunch of cars that they can't get rid of. Tim Gray says, can I install 2 turbos or a supercharger in my '07 Astra Turbo? You can do whatever you want. As the saying goes, speed is just a question of money. How much do you want to spend? You could do whatever you want. You could put a supercharger and a turbocharger on it if you wanted to, but your engine will blow up from too much pressure. It's just a little bitty 2-liter engine. Over the years, I've seen so much with kids. Oh, I put a turbo on, I put a supercharger on it. They don't rebuild the engine. They just put the supercharger on or the turbocharger. Then the engine blows up soon after from revving it too high, and it's old, worn-out engine. I mean, if you want to do that, it is a question of money, and you got to spend tons of money to do it correctly. That's the problem with our society now. They don't want to spend the money, but they want the speed. So there's all these tiny little, some of them are 3-cylinder engines, and they have turbochargers, and they put in a lot of horsepower. But for how long? They're going to wear out a lot faster, all that extra pressure. You can do whatever you want if you want to spend the money. I wouldn't advise you to, but it's your money. You can do whatever you want with it. Just realize things are going to wear out faster, and in the long run, you'll be shelling out money till the cows come home. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.